Hi there, welcome back to another video of RJ Coding Tips. In today's video, we are going to learn how to validate a form using simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So without further ado, let's start the video. We have a beautiful form here, and we can write our username and our email. We can also select the phone codes, and we can also add our phone number, and we can type our password, and we can again check the password is matching or not. So we will be able to learn how to create this interactive form validation using JavaScript, and we are going to learn how to add custom JavaScript so that it seems more appealing and more attractive to the user. So we will come to our code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. Now I have this HTML template with the default form to be validated, and here I have added the style CSS so that we can give a styling to our form, and we also add this JavaScript file in order to write all the functions and necessary interactions in our form. So you can find these templates in my GitHub link, and I am going to give the links in the description. You can also check that out here. Coming to our code editor, here I have added these icons from the icon scout, and I also have added this CSS JS so that we can add this in the font codes for the different countries, so we don't need to type the codes again and again for ourselves. So this is a built-in from the CSS JS. Now this form is a complete straightforward, and you can also create this form in a matter of minutes. If you have any doubt regarding this, let me know in the comments. I will help you out. So we are only going to discuss about the JavaScript function here, not on the styling and the HTML part. If we do that, then it will take a lot of time. So we just need the JavaScript functions to validate our form. So we are going to come to the JavaScript part. And this is also the script from our CSS JS, which will help in getting the font codes. First of all, we are going to target the form document.getElementById and then form. And then we are going to target our username, which will be document.getElementById and then username. Do this for the other IDs also. So here is the default targeted IDs, and if you are wondering where to target these IDs, then come back to the HTML file. You will be able to find all this inside the form element. Here you can see this input type placeholder with the ID, username, email, phone, password, and then password check. These are all the IDs I have targeted with these variables. After that, we are going to add a function called check if all empty. So in this function, what we are going to do is we are going to check if all the inputs in this form are empty. So if all the inputs in this form are empty, then it will show a warning to us that all the inputs are empty, and it must prompt us to write something in these input fields. So in this function, we are going to just write again username data. We are going to get the username from the input, and then we are going to trim it and value.trim, and then do this for the others. And then we are going to write password check data, and then here will be check also. So we are going to trim these values, and we are going to check it. We don't need the checking for the font because we already have added this pattern here, and it must be enough for the font part. Now we are going to just target to the username, email, and the password. So if username data equals, and then if it is empty, and again email data equals. So in JavaScript, we will write 3 equals. And in other programming languages, you may see that they use only 2 equals for the equality operator. So we are going to write again, and we are going to use password data, and if it is empty also, and lastly password check data. If it is empty, then we are going to show this. So error username, and username cannot be blank. So we are going to show an error, and this show error, this is also a function. We haven't defined it. We are going to define it and see how to call it here. So come to the upper part of this function, and we are going to write function show error, and then in here we are going to write input. So this will be the user input, and then this will be the error message. So in this function we are going to write const form input equals input.parent element. So this will target the parent element, and we are going to write const small, and this will target here. In our HTML we have added this small part, and we are going to target this element so that we can display the errors in that small area. So we write const small equals form input. We are going to select the query of small, and then inside this small dot inner x we are going to write message. Okay, we are going to get this message, and this message comes from here. So username, this will be the input, and this input will go inside here, and if there is error, then the error will be shown here in the message part. We are going to write form input, and then class name, this will be equals form input error. So if there's an error, like if all the inputs are empty, then we will get the username, and if the username is empty, then it will be showing us username cannot be blank, and it will get the styling from this CSS with the part of error. So inside this error it will say border color of this color code. So if all the user data, email data, and password data, all these inputs are empty, then it will get the styling from here, border color. So if all these input elements are empty, then this input border will change to color red, and it will show the warning. Come back to the JS file. In this check if all empty, we are going to write after we have defined this function, we are going to define another function to show success messages or success information. So we are going to write function show success, and then we are going to just target the input, and there will be no any error messages. So we are going to write const form input, and then this will be the same as input dot parent element, and then we are just going to write form input dot class name, and this will be form input of success. I will explain it here. If the error messages are shown, then it will add this class name called form input and error inside this div. So we will be able to see the input elements with border of red color. But if there is no error, then there will be no messages to display, and we will get this form input success in this class name. So it will show this border with the color of this color code. To sum it up, we can see a green border when we fill the details, but if there is an error, then we will see the red border. Now we are going to add another function for checking the email. And to check the email, we are going to write check email, and then email again. And inside this function, we are going to write a const pattern, and this pattern I'm going to give it to you guys in the description. You can just copy it But if you want to type it out, then just pause this video and you can type it also. But it will be a really pain in the... I think you guys got it. So I'm going to give it in the description. So guys, I have pasted it here and you can check this out in the description. After writing this, we are going to just return this pattern and we are going to test if this pattern matches with our user data or the user input. So we are going to write email. Okay, so this will check our email. So this is the condition or the pattern to check our email. We will be able to call them and use it in our form. Come down in this file and we are going to write username.addEventListener. Whenever the user tries to enter something in the input element of the username, then we are going to give this properties if username, and we will trim these values, value.trim, and then if this equals empty, just like the above, if this username value is empty, then it will show error. What will be the error? Username, then username cannot be blank. And then if the input is empty, then it will show this error. But if someone enters or the user enters data, then or the details, then we will show success of the username. That means our username will be displayed. And after this part, we are going to just add the same to our input, to our email and then password. So you can just copy this down and then change it to email.addEventListener, and then this must be email. And if the email is also equals to empty, then we will show email cannot be blank. But we are going to write another else if part here, else if, and we are going to check this condition. If the user enters this pattern, then it is correct, but if it is not, then it will give errors or error messages. So we are going to write so error, and we are going to give this condition here just to make sure that if this check email, if the user enters something that is not equals to check email pattern, then we are going to show the error. But we are going to write here email, then we are going to target the email.value.trim. So after targeting this value and after checking it, if it is not the same as the pattern with the described pattern here, then it will show the error with the email, and then email is not valid. Email is not valid. And then else we can just show success, then this must be email. Then we can just show the email. Okay. And just like this, we are going to do it to the password also. Password.addEventListener, and then input, and then this will be an arrow function. Just like the same if password.value.trim equals, then we are going to show error password, and we are going to check the password, and password cannot be blank. Okay, and we are going to write the else part here. Else we are going to show success, and then we are going to just give the password, but it will be hidden. And then we are just going to replicate it here, and then we are going to write password check, check. Okay, and password check, and if password check value, we will trim it, and if it is equals to empty or if it's nothing, then we are going to write password cannot be blank, and then we are going to write here an if part. In the if part, we are going to write if password value dot trim is not equals to password check dot value dot trim, then we will show an error. We will show error saying password check, and then password does not match. Password does not match. So in this else if part, we are checking the password and the password check. If both values are equal, then we will go to the success part. But if it is not equal, then we will say password does not match. After that, we are just going to close this if else part, and we are going to write an else. For this else, we are going to just show the success, and then we are going to write the password check. And this completes our password check function. So after all of this, we are just going to write the function call part. So we are going to write form.addEventListener, and we are going to target this submit button. So we are going to write when the user clicks on submit, we are going to prevent the default of errors, and we are going to use the arrow function, and we are going to write prevent default, and we are going to call this check if all empty. So we are going to just call this function. Okay, we are going to paste it here, and then we just call it. No need to call the other functions because these are not functions. These are only the codes to check the passwords. So there is no need for function calling again and again. We already have used it. We already have applied the usage in this event listener part. So now we are going to check in our browser. So we are going to just inspect it if any error occurs. So here we can see if any error occurs in our web page. So let's just do like this, and then we are going to click on submit. So it shows username cannot be blank, email cannot be blank, and password cannot be blank. And this retype password part, this also says password cannot be blank. So we are going to write our username. So when we write our username, it shows tick. Okay, so I'm going to say Razit as my name, and the email we are going to write this avc@gmail.com. So we are going to use this fake email. It says correct. So if this email is valid, it will recognize it, but you can add other functions so that it actually exists in real time. So it says email cannot be blank also here. So I'm just going to change it to Razit, and then email is this. So I'm going to write something here like phone number, then it will give error. So please match the requested format. So that's pretty much. So when I leave this empty, it says username cannot be blank, and it also says email cannot be blank, and password cannot be blank. Password, this also cannot be blank. So here is an error saying email cannot be blank at the top of the username part. We must be able to fix it in just a matter of time. Come back to the code editor, and we are going to check for any errors here. Add event listener, and email cannot be blank. If check email is not valid, username cannot be blank. So this is the password part. Okay. So guys, we have made an error here. So this must be email, not the username. This must be displayed in the email area. And now we will be able to fix it. When I enter Razit, it says tick, it is true. And when I enter like this, so it says email is not valid, and now it is valid. And when I remove this, so it says email cannot be blank. So when I click on here, and you can say like any other India or any other country you want, like Japan, and you can write the numbers here, and then when we write the password, it says password is true, and when we type the password again, the password is true. But when I enter some things like this, so it shows password does not match. So I'm going to just remove that, and I'm going to write this. So that's pretty much, guys. You can also add this submit button functionality, and when you use this submit functionality, you can use it anywhere in any web pages you like, in your blog page, in your portfolio websites also. So by doing this, so in today's video, we have learned how to validate our form using JavaScript. So it's a straightforward process. You really don't have much to think about this, and it's just the work of some functions, some if-else conditions. If the username is this, then and that, and it shows errors, and if it is true, then it shows nothing. So like that, you can set your own functionality in this web page or functions. And I'm also going to leave the links in the description, so make sure you check out that one too. And if you guys want the complete code, then type complete in the comment section, and I am going to update it in my description with the links. So make sure you do that for me. And if you guys want another separate video for making a password string in this form part, then leave a comment in this video so that I can make it out. If you have any doubt about this video and any other web development topics, then I will be able to help you out. So consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, and also check out our currently going programming courses in the video section of this channel. So thank you so much guys for watching to this video. I will see you next time.